The root of the problem is not that that person is obese. He doesn't have the habits to become a person that is not obese. So this is a lot of what happens with the GLP-1s. Now I think it's all about stacking habits. So for a person that is overweight, that has never worked out in their entire life or haven't been able to stay consistent for years, the best step is maybe not going into the gym. Maybe the next step is making one or two adjustments to their nutrition. A lot of people ask me like, what's the best cardio that I should do to lose fat? And my answer is always
More than 700,000 followers. One mission, to transform lives through fitness. Coach Gabriel Bromberg is back, and today he'll get straight to the point about habits, supplements, and what really works for long-term health.
Now, why should women be so focused on resistance training too?
First, there's a misconception. If you get jacked or not, first, it comes down to nutrition. If a woman is eating a huge amount of calories and protein and doing this strength training going to failure, yes, they're gonna gain muscle, but nowhere near close to the kind of muscle that a man can get. Fitness completely changed my life.
Welcome to another episode of the Soothing Semantics podcast. I am your host, Rafi Harel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, leave the comments for all of your South Florida real estate needs. Get in contact with me at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram. Send me a DM, send me a text, call me, and I would love to help you. This week for round two, we got Coach Gabriel Bromberg in the building, baby. He has become a fitness sensation. He has grown his channel to close to 650,000 followers. I know that when we first sat down, he didn't even have 100,000 yet, or he just got to 100K when we sat down. And this was maybe a year ago, not even, maybe less.
Yeah, a year ago. Yeah, thank you first, Rafi, for having me for the second time. It feels like it was like a while, yeah, but it's only been 1 year. It's crazy, like everything that you can do in 1 year, right? But no, thank you for having me again. Happy to be here, and I'm glad to share like how the year has been for me and what things I've learned along the way, right?
I would love to hear about
Yeah.
it, man. I'm just like it's crazy though how fast this channel exploded, and I really enjoy your content. I love the AI content that you do where you show a person in two different circumstances. You show a family man who's fit versus a family man who isn't. You show a guy who goes to the gym and then a guy who doesn't go to the gym that's bitter at the guy that goes to the gym. You show these really good life scenarios and you paint this picture of how much better your life can be when you're fit. And then you give these really simple tips. I'm a very visual guy, bro, and I love how you put your content together because you'll show a list of healthy food options and a list of unhealthy food options. You'll show a list of complex carbs, simple carbs. You break these things down in a way where it's easy for me to follow along, man. And honestly, as much I've been working out since I'm about 15, so that's 17 years, give or take, on and
Wow.
off. And I've been consistent for the majority of those years. And there's still a lot that I've learned from you, especially in terms of diet. Um, and so I thank you for that because I know last time we spoke, I definitely had a bigger belly. I've lost a couple of pounds since then. Still looking to lose a little bit
It
more, but
shows, it shows, yeah, and it also shows the 15 years of working out, definitely. Yeah.
appreciate that, man.
No, thank you for watching my content and following it. That's actually something that I've tried since I started to take content more seriously. Like I noticed that there's so much information out there, and but the way that the information was framed, it was maybe not as easy for the average population to understand, for the average man to understand clearly and in a way that it's easy to apply, right? And I saw that gap, and I thought like, how can I use this information and this knowledge that I've gained with the years, going through my own process, and transfer that knowledge and teach others, other men going through hard moments, maybe motivation issues, or maybe trying to get in better shape, how to transfer that knowledge in a way that it's easy to understand and easy to apply, so that they don't need to stop their whole life to get it back together, you know?
Absolutely. That because that's for most people, that's the biggest stepping stone. The biggest block for them is not knowing where to start, and that stress of I don't even know. I walk into the gym, I look like crap compared to everybody else. I feel uncomfortable, and in addition to that, I don't know how to use the machines. I don't know. I don't have a routine. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then they get a personal trainer. Everything I'm really, I mean, I did the work, but I'm also very fortunate that I started so many years ago. So when I walk into a gym, it's like, all right, I need my, like, they're machines I don't even know the names of, or I just know what they
Yeah,
do. You know, it's like,
yeah.
I really don't. Like, a good amount of the machines, I can't even tell you what the name of the machine is. I just know what body part, what specific muscle it works out. And like, I know if it's an upper chest, middle chest, lower chest. Um, and for me, it's just easy because I've been doing it for so long. I recognize there are some machines I actually haven't seen before. In the new gym I work at now,
Yeah.
they have a bunch of new equipment that I've never seen, and I got to try it. But that's what you do so well at. I think you're going so viral so quickly because you're user friendly. You're like the Apple of fitness coaches. You don't
Wow.
you no, I really think so, bro. Not you don't overcomplicate it. You have a really high quality. Your content is really high quality. Your video, your audio, but you don't overcomplicate it with all these fancy edits. You keep it simple.
Yeah, I think it goes back, like, in everything, right? Like,
Right.
it goes to the basics, right? Like,
Oh, wait a minute. You know what it
yeah.
is? You know what it is so much that I think so many of these coaches are so obsessed with showing themselves, and you're so focused on the teaching aspect. Like you're already in amazing shape. That's how people see that, right? You don't go overboard to try to convince people you're in amazing shape by you having a million workout videos of just different shots of you working out. People see you're in shape. They can tell you work out. They tell you diet. You're giving them the how to instead of just sitting there and look at me, I'm big and I work out, be like me. You're actually giving them the instructions and how to do it. And I think that's what people really like about your channel.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, like, it's something that I've definitely thought about, but I think you're the first person that tells me that or
Hmm.
realizes that, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, there's and I think it comes more like the reason why my content is built this way. It's because of the root of why I started to create content. You know, like, I didn't do it to post myself out there and show myself. You know, like, it was more like I wanted to make an impact in those people that were feeling lost and wanting to get their life back together, right? And through posting with the years, like, it's been like, what, 2.5 years posting, I learned, of course, with time, what are the best ways for people to learn, right? But it was a process. So I had to understand the basics of creating content, understand how my viewers were learning and digesting the information,
Hmm.
and understand what my audience actually wanted. You know, like, yes, it can work for motivation, one post of myself flexing or something, but that's not gonna move the needle for them, you know? And what's actually gonna do it is, like, diving deeper into their pain, showing their consequences of them not applying the habits that they need to have in their life, and actually telling them and teaching them in a simple way how to apply habits to their life to make the change. You know,
Absolutely.
so I think that's why the root of my content comes from, because my reason for posting is bigger than just showing myself. You know, it's more like it has a bigger purpose, which is, like, at the end of the day, helping others.
Right. You're
You
doing a
know.
great job with that. So something that I want to ask you next is what are some of the things you learned, like actually learned that maybe you didn't know before about health and fitness that maybe you saw from podcasts, maybe people with PhDs, doctors, people that are in the fitness industry for decades, things that you said, wow, I actually never thought that or I didn't know that.
Wow. So I've learned so much about health and fitness and the way that the mind works in the last 2 years, that many of the videos that I used to post, I don't agree with them anymore. You know, like the way that maybe you should treat your nutrition, your habits, like your workouts. Like I learned, let's say, some specific things that I learned is that I used to think that when coaching somebody, it has to be straight into going into training. You know, like, hey, hit the gym 3 times a week at least. And now my mind has completely shifted. Now I think it's all about stacking habits. So for a person that is overweight, that has never worked out in their entire life or haven't been able to stay consistent for years, the best step is maybe not going into the gym. Maybe the next step is making one or two adjustments to their nutrition and adding more daily steps, because that's not only gonna make an impact and get results, but it's also gonna change that person's identity into somebody like, oh, I'm lazy, I cannot go to the gym, or I don't have discipline, or I cannot stay consistent, into giving them things to do that it's gonna be some easy wins to get, and that person changes their identity to, oh, I can be consistent, I can stick to a plan. You just need to make the plan easy enough for that beginner to stay consistent wins and get those early wins, right? So that's, I would say, one of the first and main things that I learned is the method into how to treat clients, how to treat people that you're helping, and especially how to help beginners, you know?
See, so it's interesting. So you think that it's more beneficial a lot of the time for their consistency and their discipline to focus on the weight loss more than, let's say, muscle building? You just think it works better for them?
Yes, so that like depends on the person, right? But
I hear what you're saying. I'm actually, it makes sense. I think also the apprehension, the nervousness of stepping into a gym when you're super obese or just very overweight, it's very, very, it's stressful. Oh, they're looking at me. Look at me, my lazy ass. Look at these big jack gorillas. They go here every day. They're like super regimented. This is their life. And I'm like this fat person. I think a lot of people get scared out of the gym. They
100%.
see people that are so much more fit than they are. But what's crazy is that we spoke about this on the first podcast. Some of those people in that gym used to look like this person. That's the crazy thing. And what I think would completely change their world is if they were willing to stay in that gym long enough to meet one of those people, and then one of those people says, once they feel comfortable with each other, I used to be very overweight.
Yeah.
It gets better. How can I help you? What are you struggling with? But it makes a friend. That friend can relate. That's all they need. And then it's like, oh my God, I have someone who can help me. They share this experience. It's like that with anything, right?
Yeah.
Any kind of addiction or any kind of challenge you had, when somebody can really empathize because they were in your shoes, all the walls come down. It's like, oh my God, holy shit, you know?
Yeah, it's all about like a person's self-confidence and maybe the thought that they have of the people that are gonna meet in the gym. Like, for example, I've never met a successful businessman that makes fun of somebody that is starting a new business, for as crazy as it sounds, right?
Right.
Like, they were all in that stage. The person that is super fit right now and they were overweight, they're never gonna make fun of somebody who's overweight and they're trying to
For
become better,
sure, for
you
sure.
know? So it's all in that person's mind. So it's, how can we change that person's mind, you know? And I believe the way to do it is by making them winners or making them think that they are winners. So setting them up for success, setting them up for easy wins, I feel that it's the best way to change somebody identities, you know?
It's very, very good advice. It's true. If you believe that you are consistent, I am a consistent person. Like that's what we get. When they're out of shape, they're constantly telling themselves, "I can't become jacked. I'm not a jacked guy. I'm a fatty." Like I know someone that got on these GLP-1s. Maybe he'll listen to this. Maybe he won't. Not going to mention the name. Great dude. Struggled with weight loss. He was an obese dude. He's taken the Ozempic crap now, and he lost a good amount of weight. He's still on the larger side, but he lost weight. And I remember bumping into him, and he's like, man, I wish I could look like you. I just don't have the discipline. And that's the truest shit. It's super true. He didn't. That's exactly why he doesn't look like me. But it sucks because he can do it. He can do it. That's what's so frustrating. It's like
Yes.
I wish I could help you become that disciplined person because you're just giving up. You're like, I don't have the tenacity you do. I'm just gonna take the easy way out. And it's like, yeah, but the easy way out is is not the easy way out because you're also losing muscle in the process. Like you're not gonna not like you're not gonna look like me, right? I feel egotistical saying it, but let's call a spade, okay? I'm a muscular
Yeah.
guy. If if the guy is losing all the weight, that's wonderful. Now he's skinny. Well, not yet, but eventually he will be. But then if he wants to have proper muscle tone and look masculine, that's a whole nother challenge now. Now he's got to
Yeah.
either get off this stuff or take an enormous amount of protein. Like, can you even get super muscular on this stuff?
Well, first let's go back a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So uh, we need to first talk about what's the real problem, right? Of a super obese person, right? Like the root of the problem
Oh,
is
that's what you're trying to say. You mean the root?
yes. So
Oh, so you were saying the Ruth. I was like, who's Ruth?
the root of the problem it's English is my second
I
language.
know, I know, I know, I
Yeah.
know. Just without the H. Okay.
Yeah, the root of the problem is um not that that person is obese, is that he doesn't have the habits to become a person that is not obese, right? So this is a lot of what happens with the GLP-1s. For example, if you take it every day, you're gonna lose weight. Definitely, you're gonna lose weight. But first, as you mentioned, you're not gonna control what kind of weight you lose. You know, you're gonna lose fat, but you're also gonna lose a huge amount of muscle. Maybe 50% of the weight that you lose is gonna be muscle. And now, what happens when you stop taking it? You know, you haven't built the habits, you haven't changed your identity. So you stop taking it, you go back to poor eating habits, poor and stuff like that. So you're gonna get the weight back on, and it's gonna become a whole cycle. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
it's gonna become a whole cycle that messes up with your hormones as well, messes up with your metabolism. So I'm not against GLP-1s. On the contrary, I think an obese person that needs it, it's a great tool that can bring more benefits and consequences to that person.
Right.
But I am fully against the person that takes GLP-1s and doesn't add the proper habits to their life, that they don't adjust the nutrition.
I remember the video. You made a video about this.
Yeah, that they don't add strength training to their routine,
Right.
you know, because there is a way, there is a proper way to use GLP-1s.
But here's the thing: if I right now took GLP-1s, am I still not going to lose muscle?
Yes, but first you don't need to, you don't need it.
I'm not.
So
No, 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 no. I'm just giving a theory. I'm not
yeah.
touching that shit. But theoretically, if I wanted to,
Yeah.
am I automatically? Let's say I work out just as hard. Am I going to just automatically lose muscle?
Well, depends on how much you eat, you know, because one thing that the GLP-1s do is that they suppress your appetite. So one of the main reasons why people lose weight because
Right,
they're
right.
eating less.
Big
You know,
loss.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you eat less calories than the one that you burn in a day, you're gonna lose weight
Right.
immediately, right?
Right.
So, um, but if you have a high protein diet combined with a strength training schedule, you're gonna minimize the muscle loss. But in any weight loss process, you're probably gonna lose muscle, you know, with or without GLP-1s.
Right. But if I mean, in my experience now, the last 2, 3 months, I've been eating a lot of protein. I've been eating about 200, 220 grams per day.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I have lost muscle, but it doesn't show. Like I just I see fat coming off of my muscle. Honestly, dude, I look bigger than I have in a while.
Yeah, if you do it that way, like it's if you lose, it's gonna be minimal. the amount
I'm
of
taking
muscle that you
10
lose,
grams of
you know?
creatine a day. I'm taking omega 3s. I'm taking magnesium glycinate at night. I take whey protein twice a day. I'll have probably a protein bar and maybe sometimes another protein shake. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just eating meat and chicken and sardines. I eat sardines like I eat like 1 can of sardines a day.
Well, I don't like sardines, but I know they're really good.
Well,
Yeah.
here's what I do. I asked ChatGPT how I can make them taste better. I
That's
mash them
smart.
up into like imagine you're eating a tuna salad. I mash it up into small pieces
Yeah.
into like a pate. I take honey Dijon mustard from Publix. I get a good blob in there. I put some hot sauce, any kind of hot sauce you like, Cholula, Frank's, whatever. Mix it all together,
You gotta
and I
send me a recipe, man.
it's yeah.
I
There's
gotta try
nothing
it
else
out.
to do. There's nothing to
Yeah.
do. I take the bone out. I don't like how the bones are, so I remove the
Yeah.
bones. I get the Goya can. It's got like almost 30 grams of protein. I think 25 grams or 28 grams. Um, Then yeah, dude, that's it. I get it in oil. They have a few different options. They have lemon and olive oil, regular olive oil, spicy olive oil. You can get it in I think water also, but I just tried the spicy olive oil.
Yeah.
That one was really good. I still add the hot sauce and the mustard, mix it together. It's dude, I throw it down easy. And there you go, like 30 grams of protein, omega 3s, healthy fats, and it really does make you feel full for a bit.
No, and you know what? I mean, another thing that I've learned is like whatever works for you, it's not necessarily gonna work for another person. And a lot of
Right.
people ask me like, hey, for example, like, what's the best cardio that I should do to lose fat? And my answer is always like the cardio that you stay consistent with.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't help for me to tell you like, hey, walk 20 minutes on the incline treadmill walk, which I believe is one of the best ones, or do the stairmaster, for example, if you don't like doing it, you know. I prefer you doing, for example, an elliptical or just going for a long walk if that's gonna keep you more consistent.
That is something that I've really focused on. And I mean, in a sense, I focused on it for many years, but in the last year, I made it such a focus where I look at a specific task and it could be outside of fitness even. It could be with the podcast, it could be with real estate. It really applies to everything in your life. Do things you know you can be consistent with. For example, I didn't door knock in real estate because I wouldn't be consistent, so I could do the cold calling. I know that in podcasting, I'm not posting 2 episodes a week yet because I know I can be consistent with one a week. I'd rather the consistency is everything. I go to the gym 6 days a week usually. I can be consistent with that. Great.
Nice.
So when it comes to cardio, I walk, bro. I walk quickly on the treadmill. I'll do a power walk here where
Yeah.
we live, and I can be consistent with that, relatively speaking. Truest thing. People, and it's like if something simpler is something you can be consistent with. I'm just expounding on what you're saying, but like
Yeah.
if running is going to be this thing where you're really not in the mood to do it more than once a week, it's fine, but get the walking in. If walking something you could do 3 days a week, 4 days a week, do that. This
Yeah.
way I think it's better to walk 4 days a week than jog once a week,
I
probably.
think
Uh-huh.
maybe. I think um, now thinking back, like it's kind of contradictory with what I preach a lot of times, which is like maybe leave your comfort zone
Right,
or
right,
put
right,
yourself in an uncomfortable position. But I think what I mean with that is like put yourself in uncomfortable things that you can manage. You
right,
know, like for example, like I mean, keep your routine something that you can stay consistent with perfectly, but something that you can manage to make yourself uncomfortable
right,
every day that you can stay consistent with. For example, is every morning when you shower, having a cold shower. You know, you're training your mind to put yourself in an uncomfortable space and doing something that you don't want to do, but you know it's going to be beneficial for you. You know,
right, right, right.
which is very different than, for example, what I mentioned, like maybe running compared to doing a long walk, right? Like both are gonna be beneficial, but it's like which one can you stay more consistent with, and which one you can enjoy, right? Um, so I think there has to be a good balance between both.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. It's just also really interesting how I talk to people like you, and you're a very disciplined person. In your day to day, you're very future focused. You have things in your life that you want to build, and you're very serious about them. And then I meet other people that are just very relaxed about everything, and they're very in the moment. They're different personality types, but I think people have to be very honest about what they want, And I find for me, I'm much more aligned with your way. I've always been a very future thinking guy, and my setback is sometimes I don't live enough in the moment because I'm always thinking of like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? House, kids. Where am I sending my kids to school? It's like today's Tuesday, dude. Like, chill out, have a coffee,
Yeah,
And but both things are important. I just like I want to be the 55-year-old guy that's still jacked.
same.
I do. And it's such an anomaly. The percentage of 55-year-old men that are in good shape,
It's minimal.
you're in the 1% of 1%.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm 32, bro. The most rooms I go into, a lot of the 32-year-old guys don't even have muscle tone. Like they haven't, you can tell they haven't really lifted any weights in their lives. Very common. To be honest with you, also especially among Jewish guys. Like,
yeah.
let's call it a spade, man. Let's be honest. Now let's switch over to fitness slash endurance. So I'm seeing all over the internet now on podcasts, and I don't know why it's so revolutionary, but it's this hype now where everyone is saying, put the Pilates aside, put the yoga aside. They're nice, they're great, but if we're talking about longevity and real world benefits in being healthy long term, nothing beats weight training. Nothing beats
Strength training.
resistance and strength training.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna have plenty to say about this, and so give me your thoughts on that, but then also give me your thoughts on how beneficial it is for women.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. So the amount of muscle mass that a person has when they grow, it's directly linked to the lifespan and the quality of life that that person is gonna be, is gonna live, right? So when you grow, the more muscle and strength you have is gonna lead you to live a healthier lifestyle, you know? So, for example, Pilates, it's a great workout. Yoga is really good as well, but they're really good as complementary, right? And that's what the focus has shifted so much to strength training for both men and women, right? We see a lot of injuries in elderly people that, for example, they fall, they break their hips. Um, and this is directly linked to having a lack of muscle to support those bones.
right,
Okay. Also, a sign of how healthy you're gonna be when you grow is, for example, if you can do a squat.
right,
If you're 50, 60 years old and you cannot do a squat, that is a red flag. That is a flag that when you grow even older, you're gonna suffer for your health. And also it's a decision that people have to make. What kind of quality of life do you want to be?
right.
You want to have? Do you want to be 70 or 80 years old and having your kids and grandchildren take care of you while you're laying in bed because you didn't work harder on your health when you were younger? Or you want to focus on your health now to avoid living that life in the future? Um, yeah, so to answer your question, I mean, research has shown that the best combination for lifespan and quality of life in the future is a mix of strength training and also having good endurance, right? So that's what probably why, for example, Have you heard of high rocks? It's this kind of exercises that are very popular right
Hmm.
now in where there are, let's say, for example, stages, and there's a combination of strength training with doing runnings, maybe lower weight and carrying the weight multiple times,
Hmm.
because that kind of movement it's very beneficial for the body when you grow, right? It puts you in shape, both cardiovascular, which is important, and also the muscle wise and your
Right,
strength.
right,
You
right.
know, I don't know if that answers your question or my
Think
point
it's
of
a
view.
great, I think it's a great answer. Now, I also want to get the answer of women
Yeah.
because there's so much stigma around women getting fit because they're like, well, I don't want to look muscular, I don't want to get ripped. Give us the rundown on that. Why should women be so focused on on resistance training too?
Yes. So first, there's a misconception. If you get jacked or not, first it comes down to nutrition. Okay. If you gain a lot of muscle or not, it comes down to nutrition
Right,
specifically. So if a woman is eating a huge amount of calories and protein and doing this strength training going to failure, yes, they're gonna gain muscle, but nowhere near close to the kind of muscle that a man can get.
right,
Okay?
right,
But still, eating a regular diet, high protein diet, with maintenance nutrition, let's say, or even to gain some muscle, it's super beneficial for women. They're gonna tone their body. They're gonna, what women like, make their glutes look more toned, their hips, their core as well, and they're gonna feel better, stronger, and they're gonna get the same benefits when they get elderly, you
right,
know?
right.
Um, so it's the same benefit. There's not a huge difference, and yes, there are a lot of differences physically between men and women, but when it comes to treating nutrition and strength training, is not as different as we think.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of things to take into consideration with women, which is their cycles, right? Their hormones, which they are very different than men. But if we're talking specifically about how you feel like strength wise, physically wise, building muscle, it's pretty similar.
They also talk about a lot of these doctors that have been on major podcasts have spoken about how weight training for women can help them regulate their hormones because the body will produce a certain level of testosterone. Not a testosterone that's going to give them a beard or back hair, but it's going to balance their hormones. There are women that are in menopause, women that are in their 50s, 60s, they'll often take testosterone, a testosterone supplement, or they'll inject testosterone, a certain amount of it, and it'll really help them with their mood, with their depression, um, if they're feeling down, because menopause is tough. You get these hot
Yeah.
flashes, and I understand. I've had menopause. It's terrible. I'm imitating like a Brooklyn, like a 50-year-old Brooklyn woman. Um, and then there's creatine. Creatine's Everyone's talking about creatine. I've been taking creatine for the last couple of years consistently. I would say like last 2, 3 years, pretty much
How has
full stop.
that worked for you?
So physically, I definitely notice a difference. It's not a humongous difference, but you'll notice that your muscles look fuller, your muscles are harder. You will notice
Yeah.
that, especially if you lift pretty heavy and you have a good amount of muscle definition, and it's clear that you see that there's muscle on you, and then you take creatine, you'll notice your arms will get a little bit bigger. Your body in general, you'll look a
Yeah,
little
they
fuller.
will. They're fuller with
Right,
water.
right.
Yeah.
But if you don't really have much muscle, you won't notice it as much probably. But what I definitely noticed after really filling up the muscle stores with creatine was I had more energy. Like even during the workout, I would finish, normally I'd be totally drained. If I give it a little bit of time to rest and then I go at it again, I really have like this another surge of energy. I definitely feel muscle repair happening faster, especially when I include high protein, creatine, magnesium, omega-3, when I'm like all on top of this, when I'm really like fish, meat, chicken, throwing in sushi in there and all these other things, my body just operates very well. My muscles are dense, they're hard, I'm strong, I feel good, I feel sharp mentally. The creatine, I think, definitely helped me cognitively. It's hard to say. I've been taking it for so long, it's hard to say whether it had a huge difference. I just increased it from 5 grams to 10,
Okay.
and they're saying there are a lot of people coming out and saying that your muscles are greedy. This is what people are saying. Your muscles are greedy, and they eat up the 5 grams, especially if you're a bigger guy like me. I'm about 200, 205.
You don't get the cognitive
The
benefits.
creatine
Yeah.
the muscles kind of take all the creatine, and then your cognition, your brain doesn't really have enough to work with. This is what they claim, and so taking 10 for someone at my size, it could very well benefit me.
Yeah.
They even say more than that if you're very sleep deprived. I'm not looking to necessarily increase the dosage up from 10. I think 10 is enough. If I see more data suggesting otherwise, it's a thought. But what about you? What do you think?
Yeah. Uh, I love creatine. I think it's I mean it's the most studied supplement
Hmm.
out there. It's very safe. I've been taking it for a year and a half, almost 2 years as well. I used to take 5 milligrams. Now I'm taking 7 milligrams, and I noticed the change immediately, like after a month, I would say. I got stronger, and my muscles got bigger, and but the biggest impact that I see right now is definitely in the recovery. So before, let's say I would train my biceps today, I could barely train them tomorrow. In my recovery, it has improved so much, and it's been so much faster that I today I train biceps, and I feel like I could probably perform well tomorrow.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest difference that I've noticed. If when somebody asks me what supplement I recommend, uh, it's not like I go around recommending supplements because I think that you should always ask your doctor in that sense. Like for example, you should at least let your doctor know that you're taking creatine because it can lead to, let's say, high levels of creatinine in your blood work. And if your doctor doesn't know, he might think that there's dysfunction with your kidneys.
Hmm.
But if he knows, he's gonna understand why the high levels of creatinine, right? Um, so with that being said, that's going to another side. But yeah, creatine, I take it every day, 7 milligrams. They recommend, last time that I read, they recommend 1 milligram per every 10 kilos. 1 kilo is about 2.2 pounds. So I need to do the conversion. So for example, I weigh about 85 kilos, so probably the most optimal for me would be at least 8.5 milligrams, Uh, I'm right now
Interesting.
taking 7. So maybe in the future I'll take more. I don't take more because I don't need it. Like
Right.
I feel really good. And I think it's a combination with all the supplements that I'm taking. I take also fish oil like omega-3. I take vitamin D every day, especially now I was living in Boston during the winter. I don't get sunlight and people get depressed, the seasonal depression, and that's just vitamin D deficiency,
Right.
right?
Right.
I take vitamin C every day as well, and I haven't gotten sick in more than a year, and it's not a coincidence. So plus the food that I do and my habits, of course, it's all a combination.
Right.
Um, but also I don't think it's necessary. Like I think supplements are something so secondary. Like there's so many things that are more important than taking supplements. A lot of people they get into this healthier mindset, they just get started and they're immediately thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this supplement and that supplement." And it's like there's so many things that you can do to get more benefit than taking
But
supplements.
also the thing is I got on a lot of these supplements years after I started working out. So when you already build the muscle and then you use the supplements, you actually notice the difference.
Yeah.
But when you're just super crazy about the supplements, but you don't have the discipline to do the actual important work, which is sleeping, dieting, and work and lifting and working out, you're pouring all of this gold into an empty hole, into like a hollow hole. Like, yeah, maybe it'll help to an extent, but are you doing the more important things? I very much agree. The supplements are a great sprinkle on top, and they can definitely help. They definitely work. But are you doing the real things?
Yeah, and it's like, for example, those people, like, not everybody can pay for supplements, right? And if you ask me, I would much more rather you spending your money in high quality foods than spending it in expensive supplements,
Right.
because supplements are expensive, right? So it's like, if you have to choose either one or the other, choose choose a healthier foods, you
Right.
know? With that being said, if you have the means, you can also, like, take supplements without even, like, for example, creatine you mentioned. It's being researched right now, and every day it's more proven that it has cognitive benefits, right?
Right.
So even for a person that doesn't work out, it can be very beneficial for that person. So I think there's a lot of mix, depends on your goals as well. Like, what are you trying to get out of it? What are your goals? What changes you want to make in your life? So I think the purpose matters a lot when people take action in things.
Absolutely. It's a huge factor. Discipline's everything. In my book, I definitely think it's everything. Um, we really we really covered everything in this list. Is there anything that you had in mind, maybe that you wanted to mention? Anything you can think of fitness wise?
Yeah, so I mean, fitness wise and life wise, and I think I've repeated myself on this. Um, but, like, fitness completely changed my life because it taught me that you cannot get results from one day to another. You need to go through a process to get to where you want to be. It taught me that you're never gonna get to where you want to be. So the most important thing is not the goal, but what you do along the process. Um, it taught me how to that you need to show up every day, and it's impacting in all aspects of my life. We started talking about content and how I built this audience, right? And I grew in social media, and I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have the discipline that I built thanks to going to the gym.
Hmm.
It's like, it shapes every aspect of our life.
Right.
And that's why we see it so often now, like entrepreneurs being very active, entrepreneurs taking care of their health, because it goes with one of the other. The entrepreneur has to be accountable for themselves. You know, the entrepreneur has to show up every day,
Right.
cannot put excuses. And it's the same way for staying healthy. The person who wants to stay healthy cannot put excuses every day. You know, he has to do repetitive tasks that they might not be the most fun to do, but he knows that he's gonna get the results that he wants by doing them. I think this is the biggest thing that I've learned in the last few years, and it's paying off. You know, it's amazing to see how it pays off when you stay consistent, just doing simple things that you trust that they're gonna work for you in the future.
It's amazingly true, bro. Let's
Yeah.
see why this is yellow and not. Okay, I think we're fine. Why does it look yellow and not green? I don't know. Hopefully it's good.
I don't know if it's yellow or green. I think this is green.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine looks kind of yellow, but hopefully. Oh no, no, we're good. We're good. It's on this side.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
let me see the other side of yours.
Yeah, this side is
Oh,
more
okay, okay,
yellow.
okay.
That
We're
one
good.
is
We're
more.
good.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I don't have anything else to mention, I think. I guess, I mean, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, Rafi, and I feel honored to be invited, actually. I was just telling it in social media that I got invited, and it feels so, it's a fulfillment, like that feeling that you get when you know your work is paying off. And it's a blessing to know that there's people out there that are willing to hear me and see things in myself that I maybe don't see yet, so it's amazing to see that.
Dude, God willing, you built a very impressive platform. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep your eyes open for opportunities, bro, because as maybe you're familiar with the term bli ayin hara.
No, I have.
Bli ayin hara means without the evil eye. It is essentially a preemptive way of not bringing bad luck upon you. Spiritually, it's kind of like a superstition. So, the way I grew up, we say that to say that I really have all the belief that you've built the roots, you built a beautiful tree, and the tree is going to continue growing. The opportunities, almost certainly, in the way I see it, you've got opportunities that are going to come. Just keep your eyes open for them. Grab them when they're the correct opportunities, obviously, because like you've built a channel that's ripe for brand deals, all sorts of collabs. You know, if you haven't gotten enough now, I mean, dude, once you hit a million and a half, to like any day, you could be getting 5, 10, 20. Whatever. There's just you built something that many, 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 many fitness people in the fitness world would kill to have. You have a few hundred, you have close to 1 million followers. It's crazy, dude. Like, just take a step back and like think
Yeah,
about that. If you put that many people in a, do you have any idea how many people that is? It's like fucking crazy. It's an enormous amount of people.
yeah, I thought about it this month, actually, and it's
Yeah.
hard to conceptualize, like in the screen, it's just a number.
Yeah, it's like several
Yeah.
football stadiums. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a fuckload of people, bro. So be really proud of yourself, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Thank you, Rafi.
My pleasure. Ladies and gents, thank you for making it to the end of my episode with Coach Gabriel Bromberg. You can follow him at It's Coach Gabriel on Instagram. That's the only place I follow you on. Are you also on
I'm
everywhere else?
on TikTok as well, on YouTube as well. You can find me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I follow. I watch his stuff on Instagram. So
Yeah.
go follow him on all of his accounts. Really has just so much, such a wealth, such a vast knowledge on fitness, dieting, and health in general. So go check him out. Of course, for your South Florida real estate needs, you know where to go. And I look forward to you tuning in to the next episode. Until next time.